Variables are data storage boxes. Variables are like boxes or named places in the computer's memory where we can store various data, numbers, text, calculation results, and more. Each variable has a name by which we can access it to put something in it or take something out. To create a variable, the assignment operator equals is used. To the left of equals is the name of the variable, to the right of equals is the value we want to put in it. When to use: when you need to store some information to use it later in the program, change it, or perform some action on it. Can contain letters, lowercase az, uppercase az, numbers, 0 to 9, and underscores, underscore symbol. Cannot start with a number. Cannot be Python keywords, such as if, for, print. Lowercase name and uppercase name are two different variables. It is recommended to use meaningful names, such as user_age instead of just X. Create a variable, age, and put the number 30 in it. Create a variable, city, and put the text in it. The variable value can be changed. The variable can store the result of the calculation. Data types: what variables store. The data we store in variables comes in different types. Python automatically detects the data type when you assign a value to a variable. The most basic types to start with are integers, int whole numbers without a decimal part, such as 10, -5, 0. Floating point numbers, float, numbers with a decimal part, such as 3.14, -0.5, 10.0. Strings, str sequences of characters, text, must be enclosed in quotes, double text, or single text. Booleans, bool can only be true or false. How to find out the data type: the built-in function type is used for this. Understanding data types is important because different types behave differently when operated on. For example, you can't multiply a string by a number without converting it. Type returns the data type stored in the variable. In the output, you will see class int, class float, class str, class bool. Arithmetic operators are symbols that allow you to perform mathematical operations on numbers. The basic operators are plus, addition, subtraction, asterisk, multiplication, slash, division, always returns a float. // integer division, returns the integer part of the division. Percent, modulo, modulo. Exponentiation. Each operator performs a corresponding mathematical operation. Note the difference between slash, regular division, and // integer division. When to use, when you need to perform any mathematical calculations in your program. Typecasting. What it is, sometimes you may need to change the data type of one variable to another. This is called typecasting. How to use: to cast types, you use functions named after the data type. Int converts to an integer. Float converts to a floating point number. Str converts to a string. When to use: when you get input from the user using input, it always returns a string. If you need to perform mathematical operations, you should convert the string to a number, int, or float. When you need to concatenate a number with text in print, you should convert the number to a string, str. When you need to work with decimals instead of integers. Example with input, getting numbers. Convert strings to integers for addition. Convert back to string for print. Convert strings to floats. Example of converting a number to a string for concatenation. In the input example, the data always comes as str. If we want to add numbers, we must first convert them to int or float. When we want to print a number along with text, for example, sum_int with sum, we must convert the number back to str, otherwise Python will throw an error, since you can't directly add str and int using plus. End of the lesson. This concludes our second lesson. Today we learned very important concepts: variables for storing data, different data types, arithmetic operations for calculations, and learned how to convert data types. Practice these concepts, and see you in the next lesson.